Hi, friends. I'm Katie.
And I'm Lauren, and welcome to Okay, but Did You Know? A podcast where we talk about the TV and media that we love with a friend who's never seen it before.
Today, we're recapping and chatting about Bob's Burgers, Season 4, Episode 13, Mazel Tina, and Episode 14, Uncle Teddy. We are going to start with our synopsis for Mazel Tina. Tammy is having her bat mitzvah. Tina wants nothing more than to be invited because Tammy has invited beefos, boys from other schools. Tammy is busy planning her big party and didn't invite Tina. She ends up needing another caterer, and Tina suggests her dad. The family takes the job opportunity, and Tina is happy to have any way of attending the party. Tammy's party planner is struggling to deal with Tammy and her demands, and Tina ends up taking the position. Tammy and Louise get stuck inside the huge Tammy head that is hanging above the crowd. Tina takes this opportunity to hijack Tammy's bat mitzvah for herself. Bob gets frustrated as the family abandons him at their station, and Linda eats her way into a wedding, soon followed by Bob. Tammy and Louise are finally rescued from the floating Tammy head after Tina leaves them up there to steal the Ladies' Choice dance. The family gather again after their chaos and decide they should all leave. I do this for fun.
Yep.
Like reading these synopses that I like.
It's
I write,
writing
I'm like,
them too.
it really is. I'm like, I do this for fun.
Uh-huh.
But we always start off with our puns. What did you get for the vacant storefront?
It was Quilty as Charged Quilt Shop.
And there's like a quilt side, like this kind of looks like a quilt of the open sign.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hope you like the pest control truck.
I do. Like,
Oh, good.
it's Stuart a little less exterminators.
This is supposed to be for like Stuart Little.
Uh-huh. I know.
Which is so freaking cute. Oh, man.
There were no burgers of the day.
So we had a lovely, a new cast member join. So this person that played Janet has done a lot. She's actually in a lot of Bob's Burgers episodes. She'll come in and just randomly do different voices for different characters. So you're going to have moments where you hear the voice again. You're like, oh, wait, that's her.
Okay.
She does so many different characters, but it is Brooke Dillman.
Okay.
She was in Superbad, Bad Teacher. She's done lots of comedy.
Gotcha.
But like you will hear her voice and you're just like, wait a minute, I know this voice. And it's Brooke. Just know it's most likely Brooke.
Okay.
I've got lots of different notes, which is really fun. So you probably picked up on it. I would assume that you might have, but Tammy's introductory video that they play is a parody of Blossom.
Yes.
Tammy's line, "Your single white female sister is out of control," was a reference to the thriller Single White Female.
Okay.
Because they love their reference movies. I think that's like their favorite thing to do is reference movies.
No, that makes sense.
So the bat mitzvah was held at the Sunsets Hotel.
Okay.
This is the same hotel that hosted the tablescaping.
Okay.
Much of the dialogue, so when you have the dialogue between Louise and Janet, like on the earpieces, this was actually improvised by Kristen Shaw and Brooke Dillman.
Oh, I love that.
They improvised that. That was not scripted.
I love that.
Which I think that's one of my favorite things. I've got two other fun facts. I'm leaving the funniest one, I think, for last.
Okay.
But this episode won a Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Animated Program. So this was the show's first Emmy, was Mazel Tina.
Okay.
Which makes me nervous with your notes and your thoughts. And, okay, so you already... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I had three more.
Okay.
I forgot a bullet point.
Fine.
So when Bob and Linda come back, Linda's holding the bouquet.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw the bouquet? I loved that. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, I love how they keep these little things. And the one that you already know, because I had to ask you to make sure that I was pronouncing things correctly, is that the band called the Klesbians is a play on klezmer, a type of Jewish music, which you already know.
I do.
But it's between klezmer and lesbians, which Lauren loved when I sent her that.
Quite frankly, that is a phenomenal name for a band to be on the bar mitzvah circuit.
And I know I went through those notes quickly. It's because I'm just that excited to hear what you have to say about this episode. But lots of fun things. They won an Emmy. We've got Brooke Dillman starting off. Like, just fun little continuity things as well. So, yes, what did you think?
As we've stated before, I am Jewish. As someone who has become a bat mitzvah, I have gone through the whole fucking process, and I do use that term lovingly. Because I grew up Reform Jew, so it's a
Mm-hmm.
little different depending on what subsect of Judaism you belong to. Her Tammy's bat mitzvah was very reminiscent of the type of bat mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs that we saw in. I don't know if you watched the movie or if anyone else has the "You're so not invited to my bat mitzvah,"
Yes, I
which is
watched it.
an adorable movie and truthfully is kind of a crash course in some level of Judaism because they
I
go
just
through a
remember
lot.
asking you questions. I just remember
Yeah,
watching it and going, Lord, is this accurate?
I will say the least accurate bit of that was like that the Hebrew school was like as big and as nice as your average high school. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, it's the basement of some temple somewhere. It's not. No, it's not that.
Well,
But
weren't they in California?
no, they were in New Jersey in
Oh, well, that
that
was that in Jersey?
That
Okay.
was that was New Jersey. That was very in my mind. It's very indicative of the well-to-do areas of Jews in New
Mm-hmm.
Jersey, Long Island. It's that area, which is perfectly fine. And so this is also New Jersey, so that would mean that
Okay.
Tammy's family is like I would say in the more well-to-do bit. My bar mitzvah didn't look anything like that. Like
I got
these
so confused, though, when she was reading from the Torah at the party.
no okay. So that's the thing is she was
That
not
is a
reading.
thing.
She was not reading from the Torah.
Okay, what was she doing?
So the ceremony would have happened already. Like
Oh,
the
okay.
part that Tina was at is just the reception. The ceremony itself would have already happened. And my best guess is most temples in that area are more of the conservative route where the at least for girls for bat mitzvahs they don't do the whole thing. They will usually do a haftorah, which is this just love Judaism being so confusing at the same. It's lovely. A
I get
haftorah,
lessons.
it's a secondary portion that's attached to whatever Torah portion is to be read that week. But it's from I believe the Book of Prophets. I believe
Okay.
it's from a different if it's not that it's from a different religious text. I don't exactly remember exactly what it is. That's what she likely did as part of her ceremony. In my case, I led the whole service and did the Torah portion, read from the Torah, carried it around the sanctuary. I was Reformed Jew where and I put in my notes because I was a Reformed Jew. I did everything because we believed in gender equality.
Oh, goodness.
That's the I wrote that in my notes, and that's the way that I mean it is because we believed in gender equality. So I did the whole thing, and then the reception happens afterwards. So what Tina did at the reception usually is you will have a blessing over the bread. I don't know why that's always at the
Okay.
reception. That was the correct blessing, I believe.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'm fairly certain. And then after that, usually what happens after the blessing over the bread, usually a guest does it, not the bar bat mitzvah child, but it's that. And then there's a candle ceremony where you'll light candles and you'll invite people in your life to come up and light a candle with you to thank them for supporting you on your journey to becoming an adult. That's how that part works. That's always part of the reception. The ceremony itself is usually far more involved depending on what sect of Judaism you are
Okay.
at. So the fact that Tina hijacked so much of this bat mitzvah, including the blessing over the bread,
Mm-hmm.
it is so I am aware this is a cartoon,
Yeah.
but that is so far away from anything that could conceivably happen in any situation. It took me
Yeah.
out of the show.
Oh, did it?
Like it actually like I was
Oh,
already kind of a
no.
couple of times it was like the limbo is one thing that the dance was also a little egregious, but it's the fact of they had her also doing the blessing on the bread. I'm like that actually like I had a hard time kind of getting back into the episode after that. I'm like this is so egregiously not something that would happen. Like by
That's
then
sad. I'm sorry.
it's okay. No, it's okay. It happens. It's like but like at that point, if the child is not there in time for the blessing of the bread, they would have tried harder to find her. The party
Yeah.
would have stopped. So it's just
Well, I
it's
think it was also like going with the thing of like Tammy can be very horrible that no
yes.
one really seemed to care to find her.
No, exactly. I do understand that's where it's coming from, but it's like when
Mm-hmm.
we get into like if it was just the party elements, that'd be one thing. They went as far as the blessing. No, that was too much for me. So
That's understandable.
I did enjoy this episode. There were parts of it that I'm like, I didn't need flashbacks to this part of my life, but thanks.
Oh no. It's definitely gonna be a very different rating for the both of us, I
Yeah,
feel.
I think so. I mean,
But
I
this
did.
is me, like, I know nothing, I'm learning, like,
Yeah, I can.
you
I'll get.
and our friend are teaching me, so I have no idea what's happening. I am, like, pure enjoyment over here.
Yeah, I will. I will get off my soapbox about that now.
No, it's
I'll just.
okay.
I will just. My bat mitzvah was very different. My bat mitzvah was very nice. I will say at the end of the day, I did not have like the big catering hall kind of
Mhm.
party. That's just not what we wanted. There's a restaurant in my relative area that my parents really like, that they have nice grounds, that they host parties. So it was like a lot. It was a big party, but I would say like the thing like the Devil Wears Prada joke of Tammy needing Tina to tell her who all the relatives are.
Mhm.
Like my bar mitzvah wasn't that big. It was on the big-ish side. It was easily over 100 people, but like I knew 100% of the guests. Like we didn't just invite people to be nice. Like we did everything. So like everyone that was there I knew. So
Yeah.
I was good. I thought it was good on Louise to call out Tina for stealing the whole bat mitzvah, because like
Mhm.
it is a situation of like everyone is kind of an asshole in the situation, because with a school as small as Wagstaff, it's weird that at least Tammy's parents didn't require her to invite her entire class.
Yeah, and, like, I know she was inviting, like, the Beefos was, like, a whole
The
thing.
Beefos.
Beefos, like, it was, like, that was a whole thing, of course, and I'm sure, like, it's Hebrew school and stuff like that,
Hmm.
but, like, I don't know, it is just there were so many different parts of it that I'm just sitting back like, "Oh my god, this is hilarious," because, once again, I have no experience with this. There is
Hmm.
nothing like, I think there's one temple I know of
Hmm.
that's 45 minutes away from me, and it's the only temple, I think, in the entire, like,
Hmm.
50-mile radius.
Yeah.
So, it's not there's not a lot of that here,
Yeah.
um, unlike New Jersey.
Unlike my area of the
Uh,
country.
yeah. But I did like Jean's line, "Now can I get circumcised? I know some people." I'm like, "Jean, who do you know?"
No, but no, Gene. No, you don't want to get circumcised.
No, no.
We've already established
Um,
this.
I definitely did write down those. Like, I have no experience with bat mitzvahs, but all media that I've seen very much looks like this. Like, because a lot of the media we've seen around
Yeah.
bar and bat mitzvahs, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, this is definitely
Um,
this is your hype. This is like your hyper like top level of what you're likely going to see. Like honestly, I would say most of the time what you end up seeing is someone having their bar like having the reception of their bar bat mitzvah
mhm.
in the catering hall of or the social hall of their temple. Like most people don't go like so far out. They'd rather like spend more money on like the other stuff rather than like on the venue itself. I would say it's probably
Yeah,
more likely what you see. I do appreciate though that they stuck to just the to just the reception rather than showing the ceremony also, or any aspect of it. Just I think unless I mean I know that I'm going to assume the writers have Jews on staff, just as
yeah.
just an assumption. Um,
Well, especially with the blessing, like you said, like the blessing was
the
included.
blessing was correct. Like the having Tina in the credits singing Hava Nagila, she's singing Hava Nagila correctly. Like
Oh my goodness.
those are the words to that song. Um,
Now
like
we need to
they've
know, was this episode written by
what is
who
the
wrote this episode?
religious affiliation of these writers? But I think like I'm sure they had obviously some consultation, but it's just like Judaism is also a thing of it's so different depending on where you are, because it's not only is it a regional thing and it's a it's a sectional thing of like depending on what sect of Judaism you belong to, like at the level like Reform, Conservative,
Yeah.
Orthodox, but it's also whether you're Sephardic or Ashkenazi, that changes things also. So you do run the risk of whatever you show, someone's going to tell you you're wrong, even though
Yeah.
they're not. It's just different.
So this was written by Holly Schlesinger,
Okay,
and directed by Brian Lasciavo.
I don't know.
But that's all I know.
Okay, that's
Like,
fine.
I was like, let me look into this. I was just very curious of like, all right, who wrote it? Um, but I don't know Schlesinger. I don't know that name.
Schlesinger is probably would be. I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably Jewish.
You can say it. I can't.
I can say that.
um, and then after what I was saying, I did write. I expect a lot on that from Lauren. Okay, I wrote down knowing I was like, Lauren's gonna have a lot to say.
Lauren has thoughts.
The Bots Villa. though, like
Botzilla.
doing like the bridezilla, but it's
Yep.
botzilla. I
She
thought that
was
was really
Botzilla.
funny. I am with Linda on the food though. Like there were so many caterers.
Seriously though, I went to a wedding one time that truthfully the cocktail hour was like that, where there was just it was different stations all throughout the cocktail hour. That's
Oh,
what
I'd love that.
it's so but that one was like, if you're gonna do that, you need places to put your plate down.
I
Because
had yeah.
if you're gonna have food, you're probably also gonna have a drink, you gotta have somewhere to put something down. The issue with the cocktail hour was there wasn't a whole lot of tables. So like everyone was kind of struggling to eat and also hold their wine, and
Mm-hmm.
so if you're gonna do that, you do just need tables. So for a bat mitzvah setting, that works
Yeah.
perfectly.
Um, bisexual and unisex are in fact not the same.
They are not.
Did you write down anything that it wasn't pertaining to the actual like Jewish aspect of this, or
Oh, I
was it
did.
just they took you so much out of it?
No,
Oh
I
God,
did.
what did you
I
write?
did. No,
Okay.
if she stops, she'll die like a creep shark.
Oh no,
That is what I wrote.
that's what you wrote down.
I wrote down that. I did
Oh
write down
man.
the giant Tammy head is ridiculous, but like obviously them getting like I called it. I was writing out, oh, they're gonna get stuck in the Tammy head like right moments before
As they
it's
are.
shut. Well, because like the thing about Tina taking over is the very end, so everything kind of before it is more or less not so much on the Judaism as much. Um, but we also oh, where is it? Where did it go? I just saw the note. Where did it go?
I'm trying to figure out how you lose notes.
Me too. I saw a note I wanted to read. How did I lose it? There's not that many.
Oh my God.
Oh, this isn't it, but the one I was going to read is lost forever. But truthfully, when at the very beginning when they're in the school and Tammy answers the phone and she just yells into the phone, "What is it now, Rabbi Rosenberg?" is such a mood. Like your rabbi's not going to be calling you,
Mm-hmm.
but it is still such a mood to be like that at that age. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because my again I can only speak from my experience of my bat mitzvah training. Because in order to learn my Torah portion and my Haftorah, which are different, like and for people that don't know this when it comes to learning Torah and everything like that, along with so the Torah itself is written in Hebrew but without the vowel symbols, because that's the way the
Okay.
Hebrew is usually written. Because usually like certain like I think I may have mentioned this before, certain configurations of letters can only make certain sounds. Like certain vowels will only be attached to it, so it doesn't matter. So you have that, but then when you're learning it, each Torah portion also has a specific what they call trope to it, which
Mm-hmm.
is the melody to how it goes. So
Okay.
you get a version of your Torah portion that has the vowel and the trope. And this is my temple. So I had a tutor for about 4 or 5 months or maybe I think 4 months because the last 2 months were with my rabbi and my cantor. So she would go through it with me like every week, and I had my Torah portion with the trope markings and the vowels on one side with the way that it'll look on the Torah on the other. That way I can learn to associate the shapes and
Mm-hmm.
everything. I learned mine like a song basically. We also my temple was good. We also got CDs of the cantor just doing our Torah portion if that would help us learn it. And so I got to learn it like a song, kind of the way that I learned all like the scenes from Once Upon a Time. It was just a lot of repetition.
Okay.
So I learned it that way, and I learned to associate the sounds with the words. And then with the Haftorah, which is from a different book, Haftorah, while the trope symbols all look the same, Haftorah trope, they all sound different.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly enough, Haftorah is more minor than regular Torah.
To think I was just growing up eating communion wafers and grape
Yeah.
juice.
No, I learned
Like
to
that's
recite a whole other language. I can't tell you what anything I can't tell you what anything means, but I can tell you to this day I still have oh god, what is the Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam. Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Lakena Torah. The last part might have gotten messed up. If you want to keep that
oh
in, feel
wow.
free. If not, you don't have to.
And I'm over here just thinking about Veggie Tales.
And
And that's how I
and that's the blessing leading into the Torah portion. That's not even a Torah portion itself.
oh my
That's
goodness.
that gets said easily 5 to 7 times, or no, more than that. maybe 10 times, because you split it up into different sections. It's a whole thing. Bar mitzvahs are complicated.
Look, I thought I was coming to a Jewish lesson. Now everybody is.
You're welcome.
So if
And
you
again,
didn't know, now you know.
the more you know. But I would like to add on to this again. This is my experience with Reform Judaism in my area of the country that is Ashkenazi. This is my experience. If yours is different, neither is wrong.
Yeah, like there's so many different.
Like if you didn't have other
So
people
many
come
different,
up
right?
there, well, because you've got, like I said, you've got Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, Ultra Orthodox, Hasidic. Then you all that's just like the level, and then you also
Mhm.
have Ashkenazi versus Sephardic. There's so much stuff. So that's why I would say it's like much like opinions are subjective. No one's right or wrong. If I grew up in a Reform temple in my area of the country, if you grew up in a Conservative temple somewhere else, things are going to be different, and that's okay.
Yeah. Look, we all can't have the what's it called? The movie you were talking about? The lady that was the very unique lady that was her rabbi?
Oh yeah, was it Rabbi Rachel?
I think that was it, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
She was very unique.
She was she was a pip, that one.
Yeah, she was. Um I never realized how soulful your eyes are. That line, man. Okay, so I do have to actually ask you what you rated this.
Okay.
You're getting ready. Okay.
I'm getting ready. It gets a 7 for plot because truthfully, it was a bit much for me, is that aspect of it. It would have had a lower character score if no one had called Tina out on this, but because Louise called Tina out on literally stealing the bat mitzvah, it gets an 8 and an 8 for personal, because even though I have strong feelings about it, I did enjoy it. I'm aware that my strong feelings don't sound positive.
They don't. I was so scared. I've been scared this whole time.
So it gets a 23, which is a perfectly reasonable score. But like, because they are strong feelings, and again, this might just be the Jewishness of like, this is the things and this is why they do the things. But I enjoyed all of it, even though that part did take me out of the episode a little bit.
Yeah.
I still did greatly enjoy this episode. So yeah, it gets a 23, which is a decent score.
Okay, so it does get a 30 for me, but I have an explanation as to why.
Okay. That's
so plot, this is the type of storytelling they do in some of the episodes where the family all goes into something together and then they all split to their different chaos, but then they all come back together again. And this is where you really start to see it more, and I really love it because they're all in one place, all creating their own chaos, and it's wonderful. And it's more so for the chaoticness of the family and like how it's going. And like you said, people were called out. They realized we need to get the hell out of here. Like it had some moments of like, oh no, like we need to like fix some things. We're not acting right.
Yeah, exactly.
Character has 10. Oh my god, I've got to stop like I talk with my hands. I hit my microphone all the time.
No, and most of the time we can cut it out, but there's times, like I think with our episode that went out today, I had to leave it in because we commented on it.
Exactly, like today, like I'm probably gonna leave this in. But character, I kept character 10 because while both Tammy and Tina were being horrible in their own ways, Tina got called out. Tammy got a little bit of what she deserved. I don't think she deserved to miss out, like you said, on the blessing and like certain aspects of her own party because it is her bat mitzvah. But Louise did a good job of like going, you need to stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
You're going to get what you deserve for a little bit. Louise probably shouldn't have been, trying to pour guacamole out of Tammy's floating, lots of teas.
Lots of teas.
Tammy's floating head, but also Tammy had a floating head.
Yeah.
Like, and then personal, 10. Kids chaos.
That's fair.
It's pure chaos.
That's true.
And so I felt, at least for the character aspect, I needed an explanation because I can't stand Tammy. Tammy's horrible.
She is.
But this is the one time we really get to see her get what she kind of deserves. Like, because there's other episodes you're just like, you were the worst. You're a bully. Can you please stop? But in this one, it's kind of like she got a little bit. She got a little bit and she deserved it. Not all of it, but
yeah. Before we move on to the next episode, I feel like I'd be remiss. Can I tell you what the theme of my bat mitzvah was?
Yes.
Because I feel like we didn't talk about this.
Yes.
This will shock no one. My theme was Broadway musical themed. My bat mitzvah was Broadway musical themed. Basically, and again, like, because I can honestly tell you, I've never seen someone's bar mitzvah be them themed.
Yeah.
Like where you have the to be. I say that. I was about to say people don't print their faces on things. What the favor that we gave the adults at my bat mitzvah, where you can get M&Ms printed with just about anything you want on them.
Aw.
My parents did print my face on those. My grandma still has
People
the tin
got
of
to
them.
eat you?
People got to eat my face. My Bubby still has the tin of them. She's never opened them, never eaten them. She still has them. No one should consume them.
Oh, no.
But that's what we gave the adults at my bat mitzvah. The tables were all themed after different musicals. They basically had like a little like thing on them, and that was kind of it. Like the theming went as far as the place card was a CD with like the album cover printed with their name and their table on it. That was as far as the theming went. So there was an Annie table, a Lion King table. My table was the Hairspray table. I think we had Fiddler on the Roof because we're Jews. We had to. Again, I can say that.
I can't.
I can. There might have been a Mamma Mia table. I don't remember.
That makes sense.
I don't remember what else was there. But those were your basics. Is like that was my bat mitzvah theme.
I love it. You should send me pictures.
You know what? If I can find one that I don't look horrible in, yes, we can put one on Instagram.
You were what, 13?
Yeah, I had braces. It was a weird time in my life.
Okay, but who didn't have braces? Okay, I didn't, but most people did.
It was a weird time.
Well, let's go ahead and get into season 4, episode 14, Uncle Teddy, which is another one that I'm like, I made Lauren watch this. Because Lauren doesn't have a high opinion of Teddy, and I'm curious if this is going to change your opinion slightly of Teddy.
I will say, spoilers for the end of the episode. We'll get there.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything yet.
We'll get there. So, Bob and Linda are off to a burger meetup for the weekend, but the sitter forgot she was supposed to watch the kids and is in Paris. Teddy offers to watch the kids. Tina meets the new delivery boy for Reggie's and immediately develops a crush. Bob realizes quickly that the other Burger Forum members are not his biggest fan after he left some comments that were seen as rude. Tina starts hanging out with Jonas, the delivery boy, and refusing to listen to Teddy's rules. Jean and Louise have a blast with Teddy with his tools and fun activities. Linda and Bob spend their stay arguing with the other members, eventually deciding to leave. They find Teddy and the kids on the side of the road after Teddy had to search for Tina after she snuck out with Jonas. A lot goes on in that one. Best way I felt that I could kind of wrap all that up together. But what did you get for the vacant storefront?
That was Carl's pre-owned indoor outhouses.
There is a outhouse shaped sign for their open sign, and I'm just trying to figure out who needs an indoor outhouse.
Apparently they're cheaper.
Yeah, I'm disturbed. Pest control truck.
The Verminant Vacation Exterminators.
For permanent vacation, meaning death, which I like this pun because
I'm good with
they're
this
exterminators. Like, this is actually a really good one in my opinion.
Yeah, we had two good ones. We had this one and Stuart a little less.
And to make for a very happy Lauren,
a single burger of the day.
I know it should be more, but they should have given us like a name for the sliders or something in the last one.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, what? It's a missed opportunity. They could have made some kind of bat mitzvah or Tammy themed pun. It's fine.
Yeah.
But this one was it's only sourdough burger.
And it says it's only sourdough, but I like it, and that's supposed to be for Rolling Stones. It's only rock and roll, but I like it.
Gotcha.
But I love sourdough, so I would eat that.
Yeah.
So Brooke Dillman again as meet cute. This is what I mean. Brooke Dillman's around a lot.
Gotcha.
Paul Rust as Jonas. He was in Inglourious Bastards. I Love You, Beth Cooper. Keegan Michael Key.
Okay.
Was Beaver Sutherland.
Okay, so this is my thing, is when we were having Jordan Peele so often, I'm like, are we gonna get Keegan Michael Key? Like, I feel it. Like, I'm aware that they are two separate human beings and can do stuff whenever they want. But
they're so great together.
It feels like a missed opportunity. If you're gonna have one of them on your show at some point, why not have the other?
Give it time.
Oh, are they gonna act it together at some point?
And then the one that got me, that I think makes both of us happy, is Lance Barber as Jess Grillin, who is the dad from Young Sheldon.
That's why his voice sounded familiar.
That is why. It's the freaking dad from Young Sheldon.
I love that guy.
I freaking love him.
He's
I
so
only
good.
have a few notes for this one, which is fine because I
Mhm.
cannot wait. This is another one that I'm like, what did Lauren think of Teddy in this? But the
Mhm.
script cover, title, and plot are all a parody of Uncle Buck,
Mhm.
which was a movie. Oh, was that early 90s?
I don't know.
I don't remember exactly when it came out, but Uncle Buck was, I liked it.
Okay.
We kind of grew up
Yeah,
on it a little bit.
I don't know if I've heard of it. I don't know if I've ever actually seen it.
It's definitely something like that my parents showed up. Like it's a
Mhm.
movie. Like let's just go with
Yeah.
that. It's a movie. The store next door. So the opening scene is, Carl's pre-owned indoor outhouses is actually mentioned in this episode, and like in external
Yes.
shots outside the restaurant. Outside of the opening sequence, the store next door is usually vacant,
It's
as
vacant.
it is
Yeah.
the vacant storefront. So it was kind of cool that they like you get to see this one for a minute. They start to use that a lot more later on.
Okay.
The businesses still never survive,
Of course.
but they start to play into that a little bit more, which is really fun.
Mhm.
Jen being shown in Paris means that this is the first time a scene has been set outside of the United States
Mhm.
in the series canon. The kids being in Belize during the Fron Files is considered non-canonical.
That makes sense.
So, but yeah, what'd you think?
My first question is, why would he be TJ? Why is that when it's like when he's like gonna be the babysitter? Like he's like, you can call me TJ. Like why?
Just why?
Just why? But my stance on this when they were trying to figure out who to have be the babysitter before Teddy. People in cults can babysit.
I literally wrote people in a cult can't babysit. I'd choose against the cult member personally.
Yeah. Like truthfully, like cult members can babysit. That's fine. I don't
Everything's
really see what
fine.
I don't see what's wrong with it. But I did I sympathize with Teddy. Like sometimes watching other people's kids that you don't have like the strongest relationship with
Mm-hmm.
can be hard. Like you don't always know what to what to do with them. I did love though that their name tag said Burger Bob and Mrs. Burger Bob, and like same with like Just Grillin', it was Just Grillin' and Mrs. Just Grillin'.
It was so cute.
But the second that I saw that, I was like, is there online forum drama?
There's online forum drama, which I knew
Like,
you were gonna eat up.
I was so excited. I was like, hang on. I was very excited for. Beaver Sutherland is a good screen name.
It is.
It's a phenomenal screen name. Which, if people do not know, that's for Kiefer Sutherland, the actor.
Mm-hmm.
In case people don't know that,
I was also partial to Meet Cute. I thought that was
Meet Cute was
adorable.
Meet Cute was very cute. I will say, as a romance reader myself, very
Mm-hmm.
happy with Meet Cute. Um, again with my issues with Tina, you can't walk into a deli and just ask for a sandwich.
Yeah,
Like there's a syntax here. It is meat, cheese, toppings, condiments, bread.
but also she's in Jersey. Isn't that like a thing? Like you can't
Well,
just walk into a deli in Jersey and just go give me a
e-
sandwich.
exactly. Like I again, I'm slightly north of New Jersey, but still, like there's a syntax to it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't sell just sandwiches. There's deli meats. There's things involved. My go to sandwich, and this is the way that I order it, is chicken cutlet, mozzarella, roasted red pepper on a roll or on whatever bread I'm getting it on that day. If I were to add balsamic of some kind, I would say that before I say the bread.
I think you get better sandwiches than I do up there.
Is they're good sandwiches. That's my ideal because a lot of the delis by here they have chicken cutlet. That's
Because
just that's
I'm
part
more
of
of
what they
a
have for
okay.
some reason.
We're more of a down here like okay, Subway's not that great. Quiznos is barely ever around. Let's go up to like Firehouse Subs, which is
Mm,
and that's where we can
yeah,
get like the best. That's the best we can really get down here because we can never find a Quiznos. And then
yeah.
Baldino's
Quiznos,
closed.
yeah. Quiznos. I believe if there are still any open in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there are. I know there's
We
still
had
some open in
one for a
Canada.
long
Okay,
time. We had one
I
for
know
a
there are
long
still some
time, but
open
they
in Canada.
closed.
Okay,
We even
'cause
had we had Baldino's for the longest time, but it closed
mhm,
twice. Like it closed,
mm,
got reopened again. Now it's closed again. And I'm like, that is where you could get the best sandwiches here.
yeah,
And so
but
now
like
we're stuck
even
with Firehouse.
But yeah, like even with like those chains like Firehouse or Jersey Mike's and other things,
Mm-hmm.
like you can just kind of order stuff on like you can order
Yeah.
your own, but most of them have kind of like their pre-made selections of here and you can maybe customize them a little bit, but like they prefer you order something off of their menu rather than saying
Mm-hmm.
like I want this unique combination, even though like a build your own is an option, they'd kind of prefer you don't do it. Like a New Jersey, New York deli, there's a procedure to how these
Yes.
things work. You can't just say, give me a sandwich. And yes, I have very, like, I don't know if you've been on the same side of TikTok as me, that people making fun of J-Lo's bodega
Oh my
order.
god, yes.
That makes no sense, because it makes no sense,
It makes
because
zero.
when people,
I have no idea how a bodega works. Even I know that's not how you like. What are you
that's
talking about?
that's not how bodegas work. Like, because when someone's asking you your bodega order, they're not asking you what you get. They're asking how you make it yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're asking.
I
So,
was like,
like,
what
my thing,
orange drink?
if you know, you know, makes no sense. Like, my mind went to Sunny, like, went to like High C Orange, but I don't think that's what she was talking about. But
Mine went
like
to
her thing,
Fanta.
I don't know. But like, truthfully, her order of ham and cheese on a roll again tells us nothing. If she had just said ham and cheese on a roll cold, that would have been fine. That one little level of customization would have
Mm.
made the whole thing make perfect sense. A small bag of chips. Okay,
What
what type
chips?
of chips? What chips? Everyone gets a small bag of chips at a bodega. No one's going in there buying a family size bag. Like, you don't even have to say the word small. Just what chips? But like, truthfully, people are asking how you customize it. Like my sandwich before, what is my
Mm-hmm.
customizing? Is it by not putting any kind of condiment on it? My customizing is just the the chicken cutlet, the mozzarella, and the roasted red pepper. That's all I put on it. But that's my sandwich. That's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
But that's customized enough that would be considered a serviceable bodega order if that's what they had on there. If that's what they had available.
I love that this like 10 seconds from the episode has you so heated. Because
I'm
it's like
very
10
specific about
seconds.
food. Well, this is the thing I was before about earlier with, like, I was very heated about things, but I really did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very much, I feel like it's a Jewish joke of like,
Okay.
you guys don't like, of like people like yelling. I don't know if it's, I think I definitely saw this on a TV show. I don't know if it was on one of our shows or it is something else I watched, and that these two people were yelling at each other. Oh no, this was an episode. I think this might have been an episode of Modern Family. Maybe, I'm not sure. Two
Okay.
people were like very loud, like talking. No, oh no, it was Bob Hart's Abishola, and it was Bob and his mom were talking very loudly, and they're like, "Are you okay?" Like, no, we're fine. We're just talking. Like, we talk very heatedly, very passionately sometimes, but like, it's not always negative.
I love it so much. And I love that I'm having to get used to it because like we've been friends for as long as we have.
Yeah.
And I see this from you from things usually like books or something in like something that like we're all heated about. And
Mm-hmm.
now I get to sit back and be like, sandwiches. All right, let's go. Like
Yeah,
I'm
because
ready.
it's the same mentality of like, the thing that's happening in this book is so important to you, you want to throw it.
Yes.
It's that same mentality of, sandwiches are important to me because
Like me
they're
in the
part of
last
my
episode,
culture.
me talking about once, I can't go through the computer screen. Like I can't.
I can't force this 13-year-old child to order a sandwich correctly,
Exactly.
because even the surprise me, I was like, are you kidding me?
Do you know what
He's
you
got
could
like,
get?
there are exponential options behind that counter. So those are my thoughts on the deli situation. Also, melodicas are awful.
Yes, melodicas are awful, but Jonas is also awful.
Jonas is absolutely awful.
But who sends a fax to their kids?
Linda, apparently.
Like Linda's like, I need to fax the kids. What do the kids need from you, Linda?
I don't know.
Um,
You never know. It's a point of contact, I guess. I don't know, but they also didn't have room service. So
yeah.
honestly, was that hotel even worth staying in?
I wrote that Jonas is annoying. I only like the boy in dance pants. He was the nicest to Tina. Although
So
Tina
far,
doesn't have the best track record lately of like being nice and to want to be around though.
yeah, honestly, like, I mean, I'm sure this will kind of like ebb and flow as the show goes on. The
Mm-hmm.
section of the show that we're in right now, Tina is my least favorite of the family.
Yeah, like I think it's indicative of like 13-year-olds.
Hmm.
You have great times. There are great times when you're around a 13-year-old, and then there's times you're like, I want to wring your neck because you're annoying.
Hmm.
But it's they don't have like all their impulse control yet, and then they
Yeah,
have like the hormones coming in, and it's
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 a
a
lot.
party. But my god, 5 shots that fast would kill me.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
No,
No
that
one should
is
be doing
so
that.
much alcohol. Um, and then also Jonas calling Tina a little girl was so disturbing. I wrote red
Oh yeah,
flag, red flag.
massive. I mean, his whole situation is a red flag.
His whole situation. Like, how old was this boy?
I mean,
At
probably
least
16.
16.
At least 16.
A 16-year-old and a 13-year-old should not be interacting
Nope, not at all.
unless they're siblings.
Yeah. I'm with B for Sutherland. If you're gonna use all caps with someone online who may
Mm-hmm.
not know you very well with no context, I get Bob's thing of I don't know how to use those things, but you need to learn how to
Yes.
imbue tone where tone would not immediately be implied. Like I know that when you and I send things like back and forth in caps, there's a certain tone attached onto them. If I were to say like the same, I could say the same thing like I could say what the fuck is this to you in all caps. Depending on the context, you know how I mean it
Yeah.
because you know how I talk. If I were to do that, thinking I'm saying it in a funny way on the comment section of someone's video, they're not gonna know how I mean
No.
that. That's not how that works. So I'm with B for Sutherland. Like if you're gonna make the comment of like the way to help with rust on a cast iron is don't let it get rusted in the first place. Put an LOL at the end of it. Put an emoticon. Do
Laugh
something.
on loudly.
Laugh on loudly. Like just do something so that people have an idea of knowing that you mean it lightheartedly because no one gives anyone the benefit of the doubt
Yeah.
online. It's just and truthfully when you don't know people, it's not possible to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and the way Bob that like the things he was saying too while he is trying to make them come off as a joke, it's like, no, you don't come for someone's cast iron. Like
No.
things happen
Yeah.
with cast iron. As a, cast iron user in humidity, shit happens.
Yeah.
But what did you think of the hair baby?
Absolutely not.
I was like,
Absolutely not.
put it
The whole
down.
time,
Put it
the whole
down.
please stop petting it. Please don't taste the hair clog. No. Like I kept writing down like with Teddy, please stop showing the small children new kinds of power tools.
I mean, he was entertaining them though.
He was. This was the thing is like as I said, spoilers, I won't tell you how I'm feeling about Teddy. He did not bother me in this episode. He had his moment of where do I sign kind of thing with the Ranger, which honestly was good because it got them out of having to deal with anything, and then they yelled
Yeah.
Ranger danger. Um,
Ranger
but
danger.
truthfully, Ranger danger. But truthfully, Teddy in this episode was perfectly fine. He did not impede my enjoyment of the episode whatsoever.
Teddy slowly tends to, because I remember when I first started watching, I was not a fan of Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
Now 14 seasons in, Teddy slowly grows on you, but they use like Teddy is almost like the sixth member of the family at times. They
Mm-hmm.
use him so much. He is like the sixth person of the family. And so I
Okay.
got really nervous where I was like, oh no, if you don't like Teddy, you may not like this show because eventually there is a lot of Teddy.
Okay.
But this was like, this is for me is this episode where he kind of starts to grow on you
Mm-hmm.
because he's not terrible. You're like,
No,
okay,
he's not
wait,
terrible.
he's not terrible in
He's
this.
he's doing things like the way that you would expect a babysitter to act if Tina got off the motorbike of an unknown
Mm-hmm.
teenager and then snuck away down to the restaurant. Like he's handling this correctly.
He's doing
Like
great.
he truthfully is. It's not his fault that the teenager is going to do what the teenager is going to do.
The kids were fed. They were put to
Mm-hmm.
bed in time. Like he did what actually needed to be done. He
He
entertained
got
them
them
in his own
entertained.
way. Like I feel like he actually did a good job as a babysitter.
I think so too.
Um, how he can take care of the kids and not just go turn off an oven for a ham, we'll never understand. But that is the enigma that is Teddy.
We're not putting real world logic on this fictional character.
Yet we always do.
However, I will put real world logic on how this fictional character orders a sandwich.
But I hope this is
Logic.
the start of like, is Teddy my favorite? No. Do I
Yeah.
love Teddy episodes? Not all the time. Are there some
Mm-hmm.
Teddy episodes that I'm like, okay, I enjoy this? Yes, and this is
Mm-hmm.
one of them.
Okay.
What did you rate it?
So this one gets an 8 for plot, and an
Okay.
8 for character because it's solid chaos. It's Jonas is awful, and I think I did get in the way of the sandwiching got in the way. I'm just like this is not how you. I understand there's a point to her being there, but like still,
Yeah.
at least just order specific sandwiches. So like an 8 for plot, 8 for character, and a 9 for personal. So it's got a 25.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, a Teddy episode.
Mm-hmm. Because again, he wasn't awful. It honestly
Mm-hmm.
until the "where do I sign just anywhere" kind of thing, where I'm like, okay, that's his bit, obviously. Like,
He's dumb, but he's like
uh,
almost lovable.
Other than that, he was fine.
This is amazing. I'm so happy. I love that it's gone from like, oh, Teddy, no Teddy. Now you're like, Tina, what the
Like it's, I'm sure every season there's at least one character that I'm just like, why? Like right
Yeah.
now it happens to be Tina. I'm sure it won't always be that way.
Oh, Louise will get on your nerves sometimes.
Yeah. Like, it's just that's what happens when you spend so much time with the same characters.
Yeah. I did 8s across the board, so it's a 24 for
Okay.
me. I mean, no complaints really. It was really good. I'm looking at it just real quick as I do. I'm trying to see if Tina's going to continue to get on your nerves for the rest of this season, and I think you're good.
Okay.
Um, I'm we're gonna have lots of discussions on the equestronauts, though. That's gonna be a interesting day.
Okay.
I'll explain eventually
When we get there.
when we get there. It's for anybody who has seen that episode and knows of a certain fandom, they understand.
Okay. Thank you all for listening. Join us next time when we discuss Once Upon a Time, episode 211, The Outsider. Don't forget to like, rate, and follow the podcast wherever you listen so you can be notified every time we publish a new episode. Follow us at OBDYK_pod on Instagram and TikTok. And if you'd like to join our new book club, you can find the link with more details in our show notes.
This has been an episode of Okay, But Did You Know? A TV and media podcast. It was hosted by Katie and Lauren and edited by Katie.